So if there's anyone in the crowd who works in that field, Jake would love to talk to you at the end of this about some possibilities for work later. Jake has recently received his second Helping Paws dog, named Foster, and today he will be sharing with us his own story of how being placed with his first service dog, Miles, made an impact on his life. Since receiving his Helping Paws dog, Jake has had many possibilities open up for him, and he is happy to talk about how those opportunities have come as a result of fundraisers like the one we're all here at tonight. Let's give Jake a big round of applause.
Hello. First of all, I would like to say a heartfelt thank you to everyone here, and to everyone who has been at the auctions, and to everyone who has donated to Helping Paws. Without your help supporting this organization, I myself and many other people like me would not be in the position that I am in today. So seriously, guys, thank you. Yeah, give yourselves a round of applause. My journey with Helping Paws started 11 years ago in 2005. I was 16 when I had my spinal cord injury, and shortly after my accident, while laying in my hospital bed, I remember one important conversation that still sticks in my mind. I was talking to my mom, and we were discussing what my new life was going to be like, and how I was going to adjust to my life in a wheelchair. And I remember saying, "Mom, if I'm going to be in a wheelchair, I'm going to get a service dog. That's like the best part of being in a wheelchair." So I applied to Helping Paws, and 2 years later, I was matched with Miles. It was really cool because we actually graduated from doggy class the day before I graduated from high school. And for my high school graduation, I actually had Miles take my diploma in his mouth from the principal and carry it back to my seat. And it almost worked perfectly, except for the moment when Miles accidentally dropped my diploma in front of the whole crowd and started chewing on it. Now I have teeth marks on my diploma. But it was his first official day on the job, so I let it slide. After that, before I knew it, I was shipping off to college. It was a major precipice in my life, a very anxious time for me. I was moving away from home. I was still trying to figure out my life in a wheelchair. I was going to this new place, and I had no friends there. And I was going to have to make new friends. And as an able-bodied person, that never really bothered me. I like meeting new people. But having to do it all over again in a wheelchair, the only thoughts in my mind were, is the only thing they're going to see is the chair. Are they even going to like me in the chair? And on top of that, I was also worried about the college courses, taking notes, maybe not being able to complete the assignments and projects due to my disability. Like I said, I was really nervous. But the one constant reminder that always calmed my nerves, it was knowing that Miles was going to be there by my side every day. It wasn't just going to be me alone on this daunting journey. It was going to be us together, Jake and Miles. And whenever I looked at his face, did he look nervous? Heck no, Miles was excited. Every day he was like, "Come on, let's bring on the day." And having Miles right there beside me, we tackled college head on. And we even became many celebrities around campus. I was known as the kid with the dog. And of course, everyone knew Miles. And to cap it off, during my senior year, I was voted homecoming king. But that was definitely because of Miles. The whole campus loved him. If I was king, then Miles definitely was Duke. But in reality, it was probably the other way around. Are you going to drop? Foster, come here. Foster. There's a good boy. Good boy. During our time together, Miles got me out of so many jams. I remember times studying alone in my dorm room, and I would drop my pen, and Miles would be right there, picking it up, bringing it back to me so I could keep on studying. And on top of also being just a great icebreaker, he was also the best companion. But most of all, he was super smart. The best example of how smart that dog was the time I got locked in my van. My buddy was driving the van, and he kept the vehicle running while he ran into the store. And a few minutes later, when he came back out and tried to open, we learned me and Miles were locked in the van. And so I had to rely on Miles's training. It took about a half an hour, but I was able to first have Miles focus on the little tiny knob of the door lock right next to the window. And with all those buttons and everything, I would say, look. And he would try, what do you want me to look at? Okay, not that one. Try again. And he'd go to the next one, and the next one. Then finally, I got him focused on the little door plunger, the lock plunger. He's like, okay, now what do you want me to do with it? And I would say, take it. And he's trying to bite it. He can't really get it in his fangs. And he finally was able to get it in his back molars, but now his face is smashed up against the and he's holding on to this lock with his face all smashed up, and he's looking at me out of the corner of his eye. And he's like, okay, now what do you want me to do with it? I say, tug. And for the dogs, tug usually means pull back. So he's trying to pull back, and it's like, Miles, you have to pull up. And I guess he figured out what I meant, because he finally pulled it up, unlocked the door, and that's how Miles got me out of the locked van. And when I look back on it, I probably could have completed college on my own, relying on PCAs for help, making friends here and there, and just managing it on my own. But I know for a fact that I would not have been voted homecoming king. And without Miles, I probably would have, after completing college, I probably would have called it good. College would have just been a mediocre time in my life, and I wouldn't have had the appetite to continue my education any further. However, because I did enjoy college so much, I did want to continue my education. And I decided on going into environmental law in Vermont. And again, it was another precipice in my life, another major turning point. And again, I was nervous. I was scared. I was moving halfway across the country. I was going to be studying law. That was something brand new to me. But all of those anxious, nervous emotions weren't half as strong as they were when the first time I moved away to college. And that was because I knew that I had my confidant by my side, ready to take on any challenges that came my way. I knew Miles was going to be helping me meet new people, break the ice, helping me when I was on my own. There was nothing to be worried about. Not when Miles was with me. And just like college, my time at Vermont Law School went without a hitch. Every day, Miles would go to every single class with me, so everyone in that little town got to know him, and they fell in love with him. And so they fell in love with me as well. And even though I was virtually the very first person to attend that school who was in a wheelchair, I wasn't looked at as just someone in a wheelchair. In fact, the only hurdles that I had to overcome because of the wheelchair was the fact that the school grounds were not accessible. They had never had someone in a chair before. So Miles and I became accessible ambassadors. As Miles and I would move around campus going to class every day, and we would notice inaccessible things, and the school would look to me for advice on how they could make the grounds more accessible. And I would tell them where automatic door openers should go, ramps, accessible computers, and they used my recommendations and made a lot of changes. It was a really good partnership. And throughout law school, with Miles by my side and the success that we had on campus, I often joked that once law school was over, I was ready to take on med school. Bring out another 7 years of schooling. Right, Miles? We can do it. But our team, me and Miles, we never got that chance. Miles passed away just a few months before I graduated law school. And when I went up on that stage during graduation to collect my diploma, I had a big picture of Miles' smiling face hanging on the back of my chair. So he could be with me in carrying out our goal of completing law school. And when I opened up my little diploma booklet that I received from the dean, there was my diploma for my JD, and there was my diploma for my master's degree, and then there was a diploma for an honorary degree for Miles the dog. Except this time there was no toothpicks in it. And like I said, I probably wouldn't have gone to law school if it weren't for Miles. So when I find a job as an attorney somewhere and I'm able to hang my diplomas on the wall above my desk, Miles's diploma will certainly be right next to mine because he earned it just as much as I did. After Miles passed away, I was without a dog for about a year, and it was really hard on me. I continued to live out in Vermont for the summer after graduation to study for the bar exam, but I couldn't study. I couldn't focus. I ended up not taking the exam. It was because for the first time in 8 years, my life was completely different. I was alone. It wasn't Jake and Miles. It was just Jake. And having Miles right there for so long in the heel position, right there on my left side and only an arm's length away, he really became an extension of me. He became my left arm. And without him there, it felt like a piece of me was gone, like my whole left arm had been lopped off. And to represent that, and to bring just a piece of him back to me, I got a tattoo of his paw print on my left shoulder. So now wherever I go, Miles will still be my left arm. And now, just a few months ago, I've been matched with Foster. Good boy. With him by my side every day, right there, I cruised through studying for the bar exam, and I took it in July. And now I'm just waiting for the results in October, fingers crossed. And having a dog with me, I feel like my old self again, like we're a team. And although Foster is still young and maybe a little green, but you can't fault him for that because Miles was the same way, I can feel our connection growing every day. And I know that soon enough, Foster and I are going to be just as unstoppable as me and Miles were. And even though I am yet again at another precipice in my life, this time it's finding a job and probably moving halfway across the country, this time in the opposite direction. I'm going to be meeting new people, making new friends, and finding my way around a brand new big city. But this time, I have absolutely no apprehension or anxiety or worry in me, because I know that I will have this service dog by my side at arm's reach every step of the way. And that brings me back to Helping Paws and to you people. The main reason I am so confident in my path moving forward in life is because of the superb training that has been put into this dog by Marianne, his trainer, and all of the wonderful people at Helping Paws. And they would not be able to do what they do. And to rephrase that more appropriately, they would not be able to help me and countless other people like me to be in such awesome places in our lives. They wouldn't be able to do that without these donations from you here tonight. So again, I want to give you a heartfelt thank you to all of you people who are here for essentially providing me with amazing life experiences and the opportunity to be extremely happy in life. Thank you.